Today we are making a Ruffle Deco mesh wreath using a new technique. Here's what we are going to need to start our ruffle wreath. And the first thing we're going to need is a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. Then we are going to need some chenille wires or stems. And then we are going to be using 6 rolls of Deco Mesh from the Dollar Tree. Because this technique is new to a Dollar Tree wreath, I am going to be giving you some new measurements. Each Deco Mesh roll from the Dollar Tree is 5 yards, and this is obviously the 6-inch roll. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into 22-inch strips. And when you do that, you should have 8 of these elongated strips per roll. All right, so I'm going to cut all of my mesh up, and then we're going to make little flowers. And this technique, I promise you, it's kind of like the curly one, but it's like, oh, it's not even half the time, it's even more, because this is going to be a quick and easy wreath. We're not cutting this into 6-inch strips after all. We're cutting it into 22-inch strips. So that'll tell you right there that it's going to take you way less time to roll all of these. I will be right back, you guys. The next step is to grab some of our chenille wires, and I'm going to be folding these in half. And I like to use wire cutters. We're going to unfold each roll, but the roll, I want it to fold inside. See how it's rolling naturally on the inside? I'm going to put a piece of scissors or something so it doesn't roll up so I can work on it. And then here is what we're going to do. We're going to make one little roll. That's it. I made one little roll, and we hid all that loose mesh, I guess, on the inside. And then as soon as I have my little roll, I'm just going to bring the mesh together. And I'm just kind of like an accordion kind of thing, and bring it together. Now, I'm not going to bring it together to the end. Towards the end, I'm going to let this piece also roll in. And as soon as I have a little roll, I'm going to bring it together. So we're kind of hiding both endings of it. Then we're going to grab our little chenille wire, and I'm bringing it together. And what I do is I like to go from the bottom up, and then I twist. Okay? And we have our little kind of flower, or whatever you want to call it. If you want to fast forward, that's fine, but I'm going to show it one more time. We're going to roll. Make a little simple roll. Little scissors where they belong, and then we're just going to bring them together. Bring it together. We're making the pretty little ruffles right now. We are just wreath experts at this time. I'm telling you guys, this is so easy. You'll be like, oh, Nadia, I can do this with my kids. And this is my hardest part, is trying to make that last roll. So there you go, I got my roll. Bring it in. We got my chenille wire. Right like that. And then bring it up. And just twist it nice and tight in the back. I have my flowers all set and ready to go. I'm going to put 4 flowers on the second row and 4 on the third one. So we're using just the 2 middle rows of the wreath. And just to make things simple, it's going to be nice and full. I have tried this before with 7 on each one. It's just not full enough in my opinion, but it's all up to you. I will be doing 4 on each of the middle rows. As you're doing this, still zigzag it. Go from top to bottom, meaning third row, second row, third row, second row, just because the way these flowers are going to be coming together. And this first one, it doesn't matter because this one's still kind of loosey-goosey over here. But as the wreath starts filling up, you will see that that's important to do that, because It's just going to fill up the wreath really nicely, and you know, you're not going to have too much here or too much there. It's just going to go here like this and just get filled up really nicely. For today's Wreath Wednesday, I'm collaborating with my sweet friends, crafting cousins, and they are Trish and Kay. They love everything from wreath making to wood DIYs to anything you can imagine, from the Dollar Tree and trash to treasure. And they are so good at what they do. Not only do they have one channel, they have a Crafting Cousins Create where they do paper crafts. So I will link both of their channels in the description box below. Please check them out after this video. Okay, we can take care of the tails later. But this is one roll of deco mesh, and look how full it is. You don't have too much sticking out like you do in the curly wreaths. Don't get me wrong, I love my curly wreaths, but this is easier, and you have these beautiful waves on here. And I just think this is so beautiful. And we'll figure out how we're going to decorate it towards the end. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest of this wreath up. And as I go along, since this one we kind of finished at the bottom here, I'm going to start at the top, because I want to continue with that consistency of keeping it nice and even as we are going along. All right, you guys, and that fast, look at this. I did already 3 sections of the wreath. This was so fast. And so it's coming together really, really nicely. I'm grabbing this M, and I got this on clearance at Michael's. You can also get it without clearance, and I don't think it's that expensive. It's maximum of $3. Option 2 is I was going to do for an N. This is from the Dollar Tree, and then these were $1.47 for 2 of these. So they come up to what, like 75 cents or something? Not bad at all. So, yeah, this could be option 2 because, yeah, see, there's 2 of them in there. But, yeah, so I'm using this big old letter, and the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to paint it white. I'm going to do 1 coat of the Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. And then I'm going to bring in this Robin's Egg Blue by Craft Smart, because I wanted to match this ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I think it matches pretty well. Next, we're going to make a bow, and I will be using these 2 ribbons from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start with the blue. And the first I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 14 inches for the blue ribbon. Here we go, at 14 inches. And that is going to be my starting point. Now, before I start making the tails, I am going to grab a chenille wire and just put it at the bottom. I ran out of the white, so I'm just using a silver. And so this does have a top side and a bottom side. So I'm going to be just turning over, because I want my tail to be right side up. So I'm going to be turning it over, and I'm going to be making 12-inch loops, which means I'm just going to measure to my 6-inch line right here. There you go. And I'm going to just twist right here in the middle. Here we go. And we're going to do 3 loops on each side, which will make this a 6-loop bow. And twist again. This is the 3rd loop right here. And now we're making the 3rd loop for this side. Here we go. And then we have our tail, and our tail measures at 17 inches, which is fine. One is longer than the other. Absolutely fine. I'm going to leave it right here. If you don't feel comfortable and want to tie this back, you can definitely do that. But before I tie in the back, I'm going to grab another chenille wire, and this one is going to go right on the wreath, and I'm going to put it crisscross like this, and then I'm going to make my good twist right here. Okay, and bring it to the front. All right, we're going to let that go. Just flatten it out as much as I can. Next, we're bringing in our Easter one. How beautiful is this? Once again, I'm going to measure it at 14 inches. And this time, I'm going to actually make it a little smaller. So I'm actually, instead of 6 inches, this way I'm going to go at 5. And so we're going to twist. There we go, find my center, 5 inches, because you want this one to be smaller. Even though I have 3 loops on each side, I still have room to make one more loop right here. Let me see how I want to do this. So I'm going to actually make a 7th loop. I'm going to twist this, and then I'm going to make a little loop right here. That'll be my center loop. So I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to twist it in my hands right there, and then just kind of pull it down. So twist, and I'm just hiding the twist right inside. So I have this sweet little loop, and what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to bring it through. And this is where I make sure that it's nice and tight. And bring this one this way. And you can make this one as big or as small as you want. I decided to make it just a little bit smaller right there. Okay. And this is why when I did this one, I just put it to the side, because you don't know which one, you know, to grab. But this way, I know this one's on the side, and it was easy to grab the one I wanted. Make it nice and tight. Twist, and I'm going to bring it in again and just kind of do this right here. And then I'm going to twist. Okay, now that our bow is made, I'm going to pull my tails down. And now I'm going to just start making the poofs and just bring them around. Now these gorgeous beauties right here, open them up. And what I do with these ones, because the tails are all right here, I'm going to push my 6 blue ones up a little bit. Using the side ones, I'm actually going to just pick a side that's kind of maybe, I don't know, you can, oh, look at this. I can actually move this aside, which is awesome. And then I'm going to attach right onto my wreath. There you go, because I do want to sink it in a little bit. So I just move these guys aside, and I just went all around all of my form right here, all my rows. Right now, my worry is to make sure I get the bow the way I want it. All right, just making dovetails on all my ribbon tails. I'm going to show you a technique that I absolutely love. So what I do is I make a little ribbon. Here's my side view. I bring it up and I pinch on the inside, and then the loop goes on top. I pinch, you could actually pinch it right here and then just bring it back. All right, my beautiful M is all ready, and I'm going to take 2 chenille stems, and what I like to do is I like to bring it together like this, and then with my 2 fingers just hold it up like this, and I kind of make a little bit of, I don't know, like a little bridge or something. And I like doing this because it gives me more surface space to put my hot glue on. So first, let's protect the little fingers. And I'm going to put some hot glue right there. Put this on here. And then put hot glue over. And then I'm going to let it sit for just a few seconds. Next, I'm going to attach another silver one right here. All right, one more thing I want to show you on the bow. When I have a white ribbon that I'm working with, this little inside one just kind of looks out of place because it's wide and you want it to look kind of like a little poof. So what I do is I take the little edges and I fold them inside. Just like this. Like maybe like a ½ inch, ¼ inch, depending on, you know, how wide the ribbon is. And you just kind of do this. And then guess what? You have a sweet little poof right here. And it works really nice. And now it looks like a flower, doesn't it? Now let's move on to attaching my M. Before I move on, I do want to mention that if you are going to sell or, you know, you're going to give it to someone as a gift, I do recommend painting this side. I didn't because this is going to my mom and I know exactly where she's going to put it and you're not going to be able to see the back. But otherwise, I would recommend painting the bag just so it looks beautiful, because if you're doing this, this side right here is going to show through. So that is why you really do want to focus on just taking care of both sides. And now I'm just squeezing this kind of through, and then I'm going to kind of squeeze this side too, wherever it's gonna fit. And then I'm going to just attach it in place. Let's flip this upside down. And I do like to use like 2 rings wherever it lands, but I do like to use 2 rings and I do it lightly. And then when I feel like it's in the right spot on the front, that's when I go back and just really seal it in. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know down below what you think of this technique and if you are going to try it. I think this is not a very hard one and I think anyone can do it. If you are not part of DIY with Nadia family, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell and the thumbs up, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!